Hey guys, what's up? Do you see my face right now? Do you see my fucking face right now? Yeah, this face, this smile is spread across my face because if you guys have been watching me since I first started making videos on YouTube, you will know that life after lockup, love after lockup, love during lockup, okay? You should know that this is a show I will always go up for, that I've always gone up for, that I wholeheartedly love. I love the coonery. I do. I'm sorry. I do. Okay. I love it. So, needless to say, we're gonna get right into it. We have a new season. This is season 3, episode 1. Can't Stop Destiny. Okay. Let's get right into it, shall we? As usual, I am Janice or Barb. Just do not call me Janice or Barbara. And without further ado, let's get right on into it, shall we? Okay, guys, so we first jump right into the episode with Lindsay. If you know Lindsay, she was on here before with Scott, you know, with the lip. Did we ever figure out what that was about? I don't think we did, but anyway. So we're on here with her, and she's just recently getting picked up by her friend Blaine. She's been in the Slammer for 18 months, thanks to herself. And also she got a little bit of assistance from Scott, because if you guys watched her in the previous season, you will know that old girl thought it was okay to ransack his entire house. And apparently she caused at least like $1,500. If you ask me, it was more than that worth of damages. And he got that ass locked up for felonious malicious mischief. So she was in there for 18 months. She just got out. And I think she even said that he was sending her like haha letters, which I thought was petty as and really funny. And he was also for a while sending her like 1 cent a week. And I was like, that is the next level petty, but I'm here for it because you gave him the runaround and you was on bullshit. I mean, he was on bullshit too, okay? But you was on bullshit nonetheless. So it is what it is. She's clearly still mad at him, but she has moved on to a new individual who we are very familiar with as well. Deontay, that was with Nicole. Okay. I want better for you, Delonte, that's my husband's name. Deontay, I do. If you're watching this, I want better for you. Like, why? Why? Do we need to talk? Okay? Do we need to talk? I'm not understanding. I'm not. Jarhead to jarhead, I'm not understanding. Okay, I'm not understanding. Whatever. So after she calls her daughter who didn't answer, she calls Deontay and they talk for a second. He's so hyped to see her. He's about to fly down to Mississippi tomorrow. Okay, he's about to fly down there tomorrow to see his girl. He says that she is leaps and bounds better than Nicole. I don't know where he got that from, but okay, I guess that's what we're gonna go with. So he calls, they talk for a minute. Apparently he had DM'd her she DM'd him after they became friends on social media, and the rest is history. And like I said before, she got picked up by her friend who is a man, and she lets us know they've never had no history like that. She's never done anything with him because he used to sell drugs for her, and that is bad juju. Like, you don't get involved as a female drug dealer. You don't get involved because you will lose all credibility and respect. Okay. Got it. So we know Deontay was burned pretty bad with Nicole, so his radar is always just out when it comes to that type of thing. So as soon as he hears that she's in the car with a dude, like her friend is a dude, he was already kind of skeptical, but she assures us that she never did anything with him. And I'm like, okay. Nothing much really happened with her except for the fact that she was able to land a job interview same day as her release. So Blaine takes her over there. But before she can even go inside, she gets hit up by one of her friends that she's known since kindergarten, preschool, whatever, diapers. And he just got locked up, and she can bond him out because she has money that Blaine put up for her from when she was slinging dope. So my whole thing though is like, it's never to turn your back on people that have held you down or that you fuck with, but you have to distance yourself from certain things, because in this scenario you still have active warrants, Miss Ma'am, and you don't want to put yourself in a compromising position before you even get your before you even wash the stank off of you from prison. And you seem to be going down that path right now, because why couldn't you just give them money? Like, she called all around the people trying to get anybody to go down there, but it's looking like she's going to go down there, so she actually foregoes going inside, I suppose, to go bail out her friend TC. And I'm just like, not to mention last time she was out, she got 4 whole new charges within the 6-week time frame that she was out. So yeah, those are what the warrant is still out there for. Those warrants are out there for those charges. But she says fuck it, so whatever. She's grown at the end of the day. She's gonna do what she wants to do, and it's none of my business. I don't give a fuck. But whatever. Anyway, so that was really it for them. Moving right along, Taylor and Chance, we got them back. He's still on parole, and they still up in her house. And again, nothing really big comes with their scene. Long story short, he's still trying to kick Bobby out. Bobby doesn't know at this point in time. She doesn't know that they got engaged, that Chance popped the question. So Taylor goes into her room. Bobby's back at the house, but she goes into the room to tell her the good news, quote unquote, the good news that's not really good. She goes to tell her that, her twin sister Bobby. And mind you, the whole time, even prior to this, like in the confessional, Chance is still blaming Bobby for everything, still trying to put her in the garage, just ugh. And honestly, I'm most mad at Taylor for this situation, for putting her children in a compromising position, for putting herself in a compromising position, and putting her sister in a weird position as well. Like, at the end of the day, you have the power to not allow this to happen, and you're just letting it happen. But why? I'm not understanding why. So she goes in, tells Bobby about this, and she's all like, oh, he did? And she's like, yeah, I want to see my ring. Like, girl, read the room. Do you really think Bobby want to see the ring? Do you really think she's happy for you? Because she's not. If you need me to tell you, she is not happy for you. And I wouldn't be happy for you either. And Taylor kind of goes on to say that she's kind of paranoid because this is kind of this similar situation to what happened to her oldest 2 daughters' father when he passed away unexpectedly. Just, I think she said 2 weeks. Was it 2 weeks before he proposed, or 2 weeks after he proposed, or 2 weeks before they got married? Whatever it is, he passed away unexpectedly. So now she kind of feels like she's cursed. And I'm like, okay, you need to go seek counseling to talk about that. You know, you don't want to carry that trauma and start looking at, because when you do stuff like that, you start to misconstrue red flags for like other signs. And right now you're literally like seeing through the red flags and trying to see a happy ending. And it's not going to be a happy ending. I don't trust that man. It's not going to be good. And you need to steer as far and as clear away from this as possible, because you have children involved in this situation. That, and I know her ex-fiance, his name is Jacob. I did not know they named the baby Jacqueline. I understand. I get it. I'm not saying I don't. I get it. I'm not trying to come for, I don't talk about nobody's kids. But I almost wish they would just gave her like the middle name Jake, like Miranda Jake, Kaylee Jake, Cynthia Jake. Like, I just wish they, anyway, I'm gonna shut up. So then, of course, Chance comes in and tries to give his 2 cents again after Taylor was pretty much trying to justify all of his actions to Bobby. She's not here for it. And I'm glad, like, Bobby, thank God for Bobby. And hopefully your sister will get her head out of her ass and see that y'all was doing just fine without him in the picture. And he also needs to understand that the solution to whatever issues he sees, he wants to give the oldest girl her own room. They're still young enough. Like, they were doing just fine. You do not need to go try to put her blood sister, in the goddamn garage. I hope you started paying some bills while these cameras was off. I hope you started paying some bills around there, because how are you still trying? I'm still trying to figure out how he thinks it's okay to call shots up in that mother without paying no bills, without doing nothing. Like, you just got here, sir. Anyway, moving on. So next we see Kevin and Tiffany, and we know last season Kevin knocked out Curtis. He also has some stuff going on between him and Kayla, crazy Kayla, and we kind of saw what we thought was a breakdown of him and Tiffany, but they've been doing good. She is living on her own with a roommate, thank God, and she is working at a Mexican restaurant, making some pretty good money, she says. So all is well for the most part with them, but they're both still really skeptical of one another. You can tell that everything is cool. This is kind of like a calm before the storm, because neither of them trusts each other. And that's going to be a recipe for disaster if you know anything about relationships and friendships or anything. That is not going to work, but for so long. And we already see it kind of starting to crumble. But they go out girlfriend shopping, because we know last season they kind of made a pact that it was cool. Like, she's interested in girls, he's obviously interested in every girl. Every girl in the world. I just want to, every girl in the world. That's the vibes it was giving me. And so they're out being nasty, being gross, and they don't find nobody though. So then they go back to his house and get on Tinder. They make a couple's Tinder profile looking for a girlfriend. Okay. And I will say that, they both look good. Like, Tiffany, she looks good, like, healthy, good, everything's good. And she also says that she's actually been faithful. She hasn't messed with nobody, anything like that. I'm like, okay, cool, but has he? And we quickly find out that no, he hasn't been faithful, clearly, because Kayla, before the night's over, she's already blowing up his phone. And it's because she caught wind of that Tinder profile. She must have been scrolling on there herself and saw that they was still messing around after he tried to downplay his relationship with Tiffany to her. So whatever comes, Kevin, listen to me, whatever comes after this is totally your fault. And I'm not going to feel bad at all, because you didn't keep it funky. You didn't keep it 1,000. You didn't keep it real with her. You haven't kept it real with nobody, not even your goddamn self. So the next morning, Kayla's still blowing up his phone. And Tiffany's like, who is that? Like, why don't you answer? Like, what the? So she goes and makes breakfast. She burns the shit out the toast. But Kayla with the heart, still texting, still calling, whatever. And Tiffany says she wants to stick around because she don't have to be to work until later on that day. He's about to go to work, so she's gonna stick around and leave from his house because it's closer to her job. And I'm like, please do not let Kayla roll up on this girl at his house, because that is just messy. And again, I really blame him for this too. And I would never talk to him again. Like, if I already wasn't going to talk to him, I definitely wouldn't talk to him after this, because you really put me in danger, and you put me like I'm over here, guard completely down. You know that this girl is prone to pop-ups, and you just gonna leave me out here in the wind. Like, that's somebody who me and you know well. And I hope you see this, Tiffany, and realize that, and it's not to say I'm like taking one side over the other, because they both was doing each other dirty, but Tiffany seems to be on the straight and narrow and actually trying to maybe put forth all the effort into their relationship. But Kevin is still got skeletons tapping on the window. And that's bullshit, if you ask me. After he leaves, he finally picks up for Kayla. She's going off as usual. He winds up hitting the disconnect, the end call button. And again, this is when we found out that he pretty much downplayed the whole situation, because she's like, I didn't know. He's like, well, you don't keep it real. You don't really keep it real with a bit. Like, you said that y'all was just friends, that you weren't messing around with her. Da, 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 da. And it's just like, you know, this man lies, Kayla. Then I don't feel bad for her either, because you know he lies. So why are you even believing anything that comes out his mouth at this point? Like, you're just hurting your own feelings at this point. And then they pan back to his house, and we see Tiffany find some panties in the drawer. So we know this is not going to be the end that we hear of that. So Kevin, you have some explaining to do when you get home later. Next, Sean and Sarah. I am so sick of Sean. I am so sick of Sean, and I'm just almost as equally sick of Sarah. You're weird. You give me perv vibes. You give me creepy vibes. I can't stand Sean. But they're driving along the countryside. They're about to go. They're 1 week from their wedding. She's been out 8 months. And she's 5 months pregnant. They are going down to the venue to, you know, do a final walkthrough or whatever. And they just being... We get a little flashback of him and Destiny, but, you know, they're just so ready for the new baby. I'm like, okay, what about your other 6 kids, though? Exactly. He lets us know that he hasn't seen his family since he's been with Sarah, because we know that Sean is a classic case of a deadbeat ass dad. Deadbeat ass. Like, and that's why I really can't stand. That's ultimately why, not even because of what he's got going on with these women, but just because he lets it affect him being a present father. And I don't care. Nobody on this green earth should be able to keep you from your kids at all. In this case, I kind of understand why Kelly is, but no. If your priorities were straight, you would have seen your children. But your priorities aren't straight. And I don't think they're ever going to be straight, because you're what, almost 50 years old? So you're just an idiot. You're always chasing behind some poontang. You should be chasing behind some babies. Your babies. And not just the one on the way. I digress. So then Kelly starts calling nonstop, which maybe something's going on with the kids. Like, so then, of course, Sarah cops an attitude. She's like, who is that? You know, why does she keep calling you? I told you about that ish. That's hella embarrassing. Like, why? Like, you need to put her in her place. Like, and he's like, you know, well, it could be my kids. Like, we have kids. Like, I can't just not talk to her, you know, classic Sean. And this is where I got off the bus with Sarah, because I'm like, you shouldn't interfere with him communicating with his children. Some of them are under the age that they could, none of them are at an age where Kelly and him don't need to correspond and communicate. Like, it's going to happen. He's going to need to talk to her. I do understand boundaries, but you've been like that since the gate. You've been like that since the jump. And I don't like that. That's not cool. And she carries that same spirit into meeting his one son is coming. His one son, his sister and his nephew are going to come to the wedding. Nobody else, none of his other kids are coming. And he's trying to act like he don't know why they're not coming. Like, we know why they're not coming, because you're scum. You're nothing. You're a horrible dad. So of course Kelly's not going to be inclined to ship them off to you. Like, you get a clue. So you need to get her under control. Excuse me? Mind you, nobody knows his sister, son. Nobody knows that she's pregnant. So they go pick them up at the hotel, or go meet with them at the hotel, and it's awkward AF. And although I'm never for anybody interjecting into anyone's relationship, family included, I wasn't really mad when his sister was like, so are you guys just getting married because you're pregnant? Like, it had to be asked. And Sarah assures her, like, no, that's not the case. But she also throws shade in there. And I'm like, that's exactly, like, that's not going to get you, you really think that's going to get you on a good foot in front of his son by saying stuff like that, that indirectly kind of undermines his mother? She says something along the lines of, yeah, we know, like, basically that's not Sean's MO, just to marry somebody because they have kids with him. Clearly he would have did that with Kelly then, if that's the case, because they got 6 of them. Trash. They basically, they deserve each other. They need to get off the screen and go live whatever. And because they're both equally as trashy, if you ask me. So I understand how they got together. So they're going to do the gender reveal at the wedding. Sean gets in the car with his son. He's not saying too much, but I can tell that his son thinks that his father is a blind fool. And meanwhile, Sarah's trying on a dress with her mom. I don't know what I wrote. Her dress wasn't giving what it was supposed to have gave. That's probably what I was saying. Like, it was decent enough. But then Sean's phone starts blowing up with Destiny. And word on the curb is Destiny's pregnant. And I guess she's trying to say that it's Sean's, even though she's married now. And she's still trying to extort money, I guess, from him and whatever. And so that's going to be also another problem. So he's got family, kids, Kelly, like, issues over here. He's got Sarah, new baby, wedding, trying to scoot off into the sunset over here. Then he's got drama from old times past over here with Destiny. So and I don't feel a lick of bad for Sean, because again, he brought all this onto himself. Why would I feel bad? I don't. Moving right along. Chaz and Brandon are back. She's been out for 3 weeks at this point. She's over at her friend's house doing some household construction work or whatever, because we know she learned a little bit something about construction when she was locked up. Her friend has a horrible wig, I must say. And Chaz will be coming to visit, so she wants all her friends to, go there. She wants them to join him and her so she could, show him a good night on town or whatever. She says, long distance has been hard, but her friends are more just like, girl, are you serious with this? Because this is not anybody that we've ever seen you with. This is not your type. It's not your type, and you're trying to force yourself into what you think is good for you. What's good for you is not always good, like, to you. What's good for you can look like something that's still not going to make you happy in the end. You feel me? And her friends give her a word of advice on that, but she's basically running from her trauma she's running from the idea that if she sticks around in wherever she is right now, she's going to wind up back in prison. And I'm like, Brandon, you have all the control and all the power to not end up back in prison. You don't need to run or put yourself in situations that are not going to make you happy. Like, you don't have to do that. And you're just going to get all the way to wherever he is just to realize that's not really what you want. And you're not happy, and he's not what you want. He's not what you want, clearly, because as your friend said, you probably would have been intimate with him by now. And that's not to say that that's all what love is or anything like that. No. But basically, your track record doesn't show that. Your track record shows that when you're really into somebody, you act a whole different way. You're not being yourself. And if somebody's really your friend, they're going to be able to see through that. But nonetheless, We pan over to Chaz. He checks in with Branwen as he's about to go on, you know, he's in a rock band or whatever. His friends check him as well. His friend, you know, Jax with the eyes with the white contacts. Did you whip that at? They're skeptical as well. Like all the friends, everybody needs to listen to their friends in the situation, because your friends probably know best. And you know, he's still gonna do what he wants to do. So they go on, and Chaz dedicates the song to his new bride. He puts her up on FaceTime on the phone behind on the bass speaker or whatever. It was the rank insignia on Jack's arm for me. Sorry, military stuff. Anyway, we're gonna rock our asses off for you. There's a lot going on, but he was all like, "Yeah, she sees like heavy metal rock jazz." I'm like, stop, sir, stop it right now. Just because you're in a band does not make you cool. Like, just stop. It looks so awkward. He still looked awkward up there. Just, he looked like someone's dad that was like taking over for their son, their teenage son. Like, it was weird. But Brandon's all like, "Oh yeah, you know, everything's cool." And Brandon was watching this whole thing, and the camera pans over, and she's like, "Yeah, hella weird, huh?" And guess who the camera pans over to? If you saw the episode, you know. Aaron, her ex. So something's going on there. And I'm like, if that's who you want to be with, then just go be with him. As long as he's... Actually, I'm not going to say that because he got hurt, locked up apparently. Don't be with him. But be with his doppelganger then, or somebody. Be with somebody who you genuinely like, who you want to be with. That's all you need to do. But anyway, moving right along. The final couple we get back again. You know, they can't get away from this franchise. Brittany and Marcelino. She's been home for 4 years at this point. I'm like, good for you, Brittany. Because, you know, especially chasing after Cindy a couple times, last couple seasons, stuff like that. She had me a little scared. But I'm like, good. Stay out for another 4 and another 4 and another 4 and another. Just keep staying out. Their house looks good. They both look good, her and Marcelino, but it's not all strawberries, roses, and ice cream over there. She's got her realtor's license, you know, they're in Vegas, and she's about to go show a $3 million home. So she, you know, kiss goodbye to him and the kids. He's been, you know, playing stay-at-home dad and whatever. I guess he's supposed to go hit the tables at 3 o'clock. So he's like, yeah, make sure you're back by 3 o'clock, right? 3 o'clock. Like, we're trading off 3 o'clock. So she gets in the Benz and rides away, and she's nervous because this is her first luxury home that she'll be showing. She also, again, lets us know that they've just been kind of like weird and disconnected and really roommate-ish ever since they had the threesome with Miss Amanda. And I'm like, see, that's why you got to be careful with that type of stuff. Introducing other outside people into the bedroom between you and your spouse, you and your partner, you got to be very careful, because sometimes what you could think can be very beneficial for the relationship can be actually a huge detriment. And in this case, I think it was. And Marcelino, I guess, feels like unappreciated, overlooked, whatever. And I'm just like, this is why you guys need to talk. But apparently, I guess he thinks it's better to kind of take matters into his own hands, because we see him over there kind of texting somebody. I seen heart emojis and something. So I'm like, I hope what's going on is not what the hell I think is going on. I really do. I didn't watch the season's trailer. I didn't even know this was coming back on. That's why it was a pleasant surprise. But from the looks of it, I am going to deduce that perhaps maybe he's creeping with Amanda. That little one-time thing actually has continued between just them two. That's what I'm going to think. And Amanda, if that's the case, you're fucking foul. You're foul AF. And Marcelino, you ain't either. And I want them to be better than this. Like, they've been really defying the odds as it pertains to couples on this show. They've stuck with it, you know. They've got multiple kids now. I think he was home with two boys and their daughter. So they seem to be doing the damn thing on the outside. So I'm like, come on, man. She's about to make $75K off this house. She pulls up, and like I said before, the kids have been working him, so I understand he's probably frustrated and, you know, tired from that. I get it. But that doesn't mean go seek outside affections or whatever. It doesn't. So tell me why this mother character thinks it's okay to, I guess it's 3 o'clock, she's still showing the house. He gets the kids in the car, in his truck, drives over to the house that she's showing, and proceeds to drop the kids off with her as she's showing the house still. Like, how unprofessional? How unprofessional can you make your wife look right now? Like, do you really think that was beneficial? We've got a plan, and we should stick to it. Bye. And this mother effer pulls up to somebody's house, and I was like, I know that there's no crap tables in there. That was a residential home, sir. So whose house is it? You better not say Amanda. You better not say Amanda. I guess we'll see on next week's episode. But that was really it for them. We'll see. So you guys, as I said before, I'm so excited that this show is back. We got a couple more faces, I think, to see too. I think Ray and Brittany are going to be up on there. Maybe somebody else. I don't know. It looks like it's going to be good, though. So I'm excited. And then I think they said a new Love During Lockup comes on, or Love After Lockup. I don't know. Whichever one comes on in the fall. So we gonna be here getting to it. So please, if you're not already, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Because at this point, what are you doing? You're just watching me? Just watch me? I see it. So you better subscribe. Don't forget to comment. Let's chat. Let's chat in the comments about the show. You know, I love. And if you follow me on Twitter at Barb Meets World, you will be able to tweet me when the episode is on. You know, we could kiki up there because I'm always talking some trash. I can't help it. Don't forget to like. Don't forget that notifications bell as well. And I will see you guys in the next one. All right. Bye.